Hey everybody, just a quick update here. Given the situation that's going on, I thought I'd make a quick update on what's going on. First and foremost, just a sad moment, right? A sad moment. This is not something we want to see in the world at all. We obviously are here as investors, and first and foremost, we want peace, right? We're humanitarians. We don't want violence, and ultimately, the first thing you lose in a war is one truth. You lose truth, and none of the media sources you look at right now, none of the news you're looking at right now will be giving you the truth. There's always two sides to the story, but ultimately it's going to affect the lives of Ukrainians, of Russians, and whoever else gets pulled into this conflict. So from that perspective, yeah, a very tricky situation and a very delicate one, and hopefully we can get to a resolution quicker than we expect, and hopefully very soon with diplomacy and rational minds taking the front foot to kind of resolving this issue. But from an investment perspective, let's also look at this with a bit of pragmatism. Obviously, we've seen Bitcoin tumble as news of escalation continued and shelling continued. We saw Bitcoin tumble and major indices are down. The only things we're obviously seeing up are commodity prices, which are going to continue to go up, thus fueling further this inflation narrative. Now, inflation is going to be far worse than we previously expected from just the whole COVID situation and the stimulus printing. Now we've got this conflict, rising commodity prices, adding more fuel to the to this inflation spiral. But the other thing that we need to think about here, from an investment perspective, is, do we think we're at peak fear in the market right now? Like, can there be anything else to drive fear in the market? If you were looking to enter a market over a 10-year span, you'd as horrible as it sounds, you'd want, if just from a theoretical point of view, from an investment point of view, you'd want the worst of FUD, right? You want the worst uncertainty, so you buy in at the bottom. And right now, you've got an unprecedented pandemic with unprecedented inflation, with unprecedented printing of money and stimulus, along with potential conflict that has very wide-arching repercussions. This is obviously going to be an area where equities, where crypto are truly tested to the downside. And so the important thing here, which we need to do, is remain pragmatic, stay calm, just like I've always said here on this channel. Build your conviction, because these are the things that are going to get you through, right? We need to be able to stay calm in the moment, understand that these moments do pass, and hopefully this one passes very quickly. But even if it's 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year, right? We need to understand that we're investing for a long time horizon in projects that we think are going to change the world, change Web 3.0, be the hedge of fiat currencies and the world as we know it in terms of how money is represented, right? So does that narrative change? The answer is no. And therefore, I wouldn't say we'd be buying the dip right now, because potentially now this conflict can continue to get worse as the market continues to creep to the downside. So I'd be on hold right now, but I definitely would not be selling anything. I'm not selling any of my positions. I continue to hold my positions. Not financial advice, but holding is the best thing to do in these markets. We've always seen that over the long run, whether it's financial crises, whether it's war, whether it's pandemics, the economies have always continued to go upwards and to the right of a chart, right? They keep going up and up. And so you have to back innovation, you have to back the narrative and the growth of businesses and economies over the long run, because it's got the proven history. And so the important thing right now is just to remain pragmatic, stay calm, stay level-headed. Don't watch too much of the news, or you can watch the news to stay informed, but don't let that impact your investment decisions too much, because remember, you need to invest on the long-term horizon. So it's important that we keep those decisions based on long-term, not short-term fear. And ultimately, the question we need to ask ourselves is this peak fear? Are we or not necessarily right at the bottom, but can things get much worse? Like, this is crazy, right? And if the prices we're seeing in equities and Bitcoin and crypto right now, can we see it getting tested much more? If we think of the elastic band being pulled, how much it gets incrementally harder to keep pulling that elastic band back. What other news can keep spooking us down to 20,000 and 15,000 on Bitcoin and 10,000? Like, what would it have to be, right? Short of a mass world war, then maybe you start falling to those levels. But we have to ask ourselves, in 10 years' time, once all the dust is settled on these kind of issues, in 5 years' time, where do we see Bitcoin? Do we see it far higher than 30,000 or 20,000? And based on that, that's how we need to make our decisions. So I hope you guys, first and foremost, anybody in Russia, Ukraine, any families affected, hope you guys are all staying safe first and foremost. We need to continue to fight for peace and believe in peace, and ultimately that's the only solution for humanity is peace. So stay calm, see the course, don't panic. That's the key in all investments. I'll continue to update you guys daily. I'm here on a business trip at the moment, just thought I'd pull over and had to address this. I mean, I wish I was at my desk to kind of address this a bit more formally for you guys, but I'll try to bring you updates on what's going on with Ukraine and Russia and how that's going to affect the market. One thing is for sure, any of this technical analysis and kind of looking at little, Polygon has had 100 million funding, these kind of news articles are not going to move the market right now. They would in a bull market, but they were not going to move the market right now. So what is going to move the market right now is macroeconomics. So you will see a heavy emphasis on that on this channel. So if you appreciate that, make sure you're hitting up the like button and subscribing. Don't forget to keep your notifications on. I will be here. I will be informing you. I will be sharing all of my research with you guys, so you have that at your fingertips, at your disposal to make your own personal investment decisions. As always, guys, thanks for watching these videos. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Support NordVPN as well. Links in the description as always. And I'll see you when I'm back at my desk. Thank you.